Havasupai Gardens is a desert oasis that can be seen 3,200 feet below Grand Canyon Village. Previously it was known as Indian Garden before being renamed in 2022. For centuries it was accessed by the Havasupai and the Ancestral Puebloans, who went down to the gardens using a geological fault route that was developed into the Bright Angel Trail. Today, the site serves as a resting point for hikers, campers, and mule riders. In 1883, William Bass descended to the gardens and found Havasupai living there. They told him that only one white man had come down before him, and that they had lived there, on Tonto Platform, for many years. In 1888, Ralph Cameron prospected for precious metals down in the Grand Canyon and believed he had found copper and gold near the gardens. He filed for mining claims and started a multi-year effort to improve the trail, which became known as Bright Angel Trail. With a better trail, he made it possible for tourists to descend and enjoy the area. He established a resort there with a double row of tents. He planted cottonwood trees, dammed the creek for irrigation, and put up a telephone line to the rim. S.E. Ruttinger gave this 1903 description.
"We found ourselves in the valley by a cool mountain brook overshadowed by a dwarfed growth of willows. Some tents nearby showed us the valley was inhabited, and we were cordially invited to dismount and rest in the quiet shade. Upon investigation, we found the tents were equipped with all the accessories of a modern home.
Overnight accommodation was available in tents furnished with Navajo rugs and little white cots." L.M. Brown explained.
"We are soon in the cheery dining tent, gratefully enjoying the refreshment of the good supper provided, and soon each traveler seeks their respective tent made cozy by a merry fire in its vest pocket stove, and the tired limbs are soon resting in the comfortable beds therein."
In 1903, some Havasupai were still living in the gardens when Theodore Roosevelt visited. Their leader, Big Jim, had been born there in about 1856. Roosevelt informed him that the federal government intended to create a park there. He urged the Havasupai to vacate the area so that American tourists could enjoy the gardens. In 1916, the Fred Harvey Company made plans to develop Indian Garden with a hotel and large dining hall, surrounded by cottages, with vegetable gardens, chickens, and cows. But because Cameron still controlled the trail, the plan was never implemented. By 1917, Cameron was no longer maintaining the gardens. It was described as filthy and disgraceful. By the early 1920s, Garden Creek was seriously polluted, and trash littered the area. After years of legal maneuvers, the park finally received ownership of the gardens in 1927. The Havasupai were evicted. The remaining tribe member living there, Billy Burrow, was forcibly removed. Havasupai cultural remains were taken from the site. Efforts were then made to make the gardens again an inviting place for tourists. You could bathe in Garden Creek, get a nice dinner, and sleep in cots. In 1933, the Civilian Conservation Corps removed all the old broken-down structures and built a new caretaker's cabin, trail shelter, and mule barn with a corral. A cable tram was built from the rim to bring down a 5-ton tractor and other materials for a water pumping station. In 1937, the pump was in operation, bringing much-needed water from Garden Creek to the south rim. About 150,000 gallons were brought up each day in a 6-inch pipe. In 1948, heavy rains caused massive flooding through the gardens and deposited boulders in the mule corral. This happened again in 1980 when the campground and water system were washed out. The park finally implemented needed flood control to prevent future damage. Today, in 2025, it is a busy place where a fenced-in encampment existed for those working on the new Trans-Canyon pipeline. Each year, about 100,000 people visit the gardens while hiking the Bright Angel Trail. In 2022, the oasis was renamed to Havasupai Gardens in hopes to remind visitors about its sacred place in history.
This video was written and produced by Davy Crockett for the Grand Canyon Historical Society. Visit us at grandcanyonhistory.org. Help us continue to preserve and share the history of Grand Canyon by becoming a member of the Society. Also, use the subscribe button below to receive more videos like this one.